That is an awkward camera angle. That is not very good at all, is it? Hopefully that's not blowing out your eardrums either. Let me get the music set up and then we can see how everyone's doing. How are you guys doing? Let's actually just ask that question. How are you guys? Painting videos? Hi. You guys are in a slightly different spot than usual. Hope you don't mind. Just got to get the camera set up and turned on and all that. There you go. Hi. Music? So let me tell you what we're working on today. For the last little bit, I've had a little bit of an obsession with like Warhammer and stuff. And one thing that's neat about Warhammer is that you paint the guys, right? And I'm a real sucker for like high contrast sort of stuff. I guess I should show you. Where is he? Ah. So I bought this model. It is not a Games Workshop model, but I bought a model to practice painting, and he's going to be used as one of my guys. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Mitty. So hopefully you guys can see that okay. I got a bit of a lag, so I can't tell if you're seeing that or not. But he turned out okay. I like the little like parts where you can see his armor through his cloak there. I'm going with like a Alpha Legion sort of thing, but that guy is painted more like World Eaters. It doesn't really matter. The point of that story is that when it comes to Warhammer, the painting techniques I feel like I want to use in my normal paintings. So I'm going to try that with this one. So this is not like a painting that means like a lot to me. It's just like an experiment. Like, what can I do with this? And additionally, I went to the mall the other day and I saw some mannequins. I thought they were weird looking. So I'm like, okay, I can paint that. So this is a combination of the painting techniques I learned while painting that Warhammer figure, as well as combining it with this creepy mannequin that was at the mall. And hopefully between the two, it comes out as something cool. I'm also trying to keep going with like the really sharp angled aesthetic that I've been doing recently. I guess I could do this while I'm painting, right? Let me get the music going. Like all of them but that one song. There we go. There we go. That's good. How are the sound levels? So I already started. I already have a little bit of white plugged in. I'm going to be using like yellow and orange. And to do that, I'm going to have to like, you know, have a base. Because the yellow I use, a lot of yellow, especially with acrylic, is really, really thin. So. And I need to shape up his face a little bit, or her face, I'm not really sure. I've always meaning to ask what this song is called. This song is called Everything Will Be Okay, and I wrote it as just like a whatever. So that way this entire channel is stuff that's me, you know? There's something nice about being able to go, yeah, that's my channel, you know? It's not just, you know, this, that, and the other, like, this person didn't contribute anything, that person didn't contribute anything. This is entirely my work, which is a little bit weird of me. The writing methods for this song are super weird and arcane, but it turned out okay. It's not like a masterful song, but it's like, you can listen to it and not be offended by it, and if I talk over it, you don't really think about it too much. Which is the idea. It's meant to just be more of like comfy sounds put in a string. It's not even really a song. This is my old PC case. This is the first streaming computer I built. I'm using a different one now. So one thing I noticed when I got up to go have dinner, and then Kevin MacLeod did the rest of the songs. So everything else is like that. Kevin MacLeod puts his music out there free for anyone to use, which is why everyone uses it. So I need to like shape up a few of these lines because they're not quite right. I did like a preparatory sketch, and I'm trying to keep to that as best as I can. gonna have to go over this background layer again, so I'm just gonna make sure that the bits are where I want them, rather than, you know, really concerning myself too much. Oh, I forgot to record. Right. Well, I didn't do much. Are you guys lined up now? Should be better now. Cool. Okay, cool. Now we're recording. So now I can actually do this. And I used a couple images that I found. I think I talked about it in one of my videos. If I haven't made that video yet, I need to. But just like a ways to stay creative. And one of them is to have, that wasn't Mimikyu. Mimikyu is my favorite. Is to have things that you just look at to get inspiration. So I have like a couple Tumblr blogs that are for that. Which, speaking of, I should probably bring that up as well. I need to probably have that window open. Because I liked the colors they were using, so I'm using their colors. It was, I don't even know what this is. Just, I mean, sometimes it's like advertisements, sometimes it's like art. Not saying that, you know. Do I carry around a sketchbook? I bring one with me to work, so that way I can not go insane. It makes me feel better if I'm at work working on stuff that I actually enjoy. Although a lot of the time I end up just screwing around on my phone, which I need to get out of the habit of doing. I'll clean this up a little bit. Page is unresponsive Tumblr. Come on now. I believe so, Manny. Art's basically just if we all agree it's art. Or at least if someone says it's art when they make it. I guess that's more it. Another guy I could probably get music from is Ace Waters. I've used his music on the first ArtCade thing I ever did. On After Hours. And it's a horrible painting I did. Well, thank you, Nick. I'm just gonna hope that is it possible to move them out closer to the painting. I'm just gonna crank the volume. I can't really move it that much closer. I'm in a very tiny, cramped area here. Let's tell Tilda, you know, we move out of this apartment, we find ourselves a house. I'll have a better place to set up. We'll set up the room for me streaming and doing art to be for that rather than just, you know, a corner in a hallway. That's awesome, Zenyatta. We're doing okay, Nick. All things considered, we're doing alright. Oh, I should mention, PCRF, we're doing a charity for it here coming up very soon. I think the deadline for doing art for the art contest is up. I actually meant to do like a video last week to kind of announce that was happening because there was an art contest. It's like, cool. But then some life stuff happened and I just didn't have time. And I just didn't have time this week. I really didn't use my time all that well. How do you mix acrylics that have already sort of dried onto your canvas? You don't. That's the downside of acrylic, is it's much less forgiving to wet on wet. If you're fine with rematching the same colors and just doing them again, then it's easier. It's kind of dependent on how you paint. For me, I find acrylics easier because of that. For a lot of people, it's not recommended that you paint that way because it's so much harder to match paints. As far as I know, there's no way to get paint wet once it's not wet. You can always add water and try and brush it around, but you're gonna have to just mix it again, man. And I'm sorry I kind of bailed on the Jurassic Park one. I'm gonna stream Hunter Call of the Wild again, probably pretty soon here, probably tomorrow actually, and take a few pictures, and we'll find one that we can use for an ArtCade. I feel like I need to be doing more ArtCade stuff because, you know, I've got the Patreon now, which if you're just now hearing about it, don't worry about it. We've got a charity marathon coming up. I'd rather you donate to that. Because I'm going to be donating this month's Patreon stuff. Ever thought about teaching? I've taught one person once. It was a pretty sweet gig, but eventually she found someone who was willing to do it for like $10 a lesson. It's like, okay. I feel like she was trying to get me to negotiate down my price. But I don't do that. So I stuck to my guns and she stuck to hers, and so I was out of a job there. But you know what? I think that's okay. I was doing that right around this time last year. Yeah, swatches of color really help. And there's like a little bit of a jaggy there. I did hear about the Rainbow Six Siege thing, and good. Honestly. I'm in Silver League in CSGO, and it's bad down there, man. Like, it's not just the people who are bad at the game like me, but it's like really awful human beings. Like, the worst of humanity is in Silver League, and that's why I'm there. And so, yeah, it's kind of an issue. So I'm excited to hear that someone's doing something about it. We'll see how it goes. I can see it being an issue for sure, but, you know, hopefully not. So now I need to mix orange, and I'm not really sure how to get to the orange that I want to do, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time mixing colors. And the reason is that the yellow I'm using is so thin that that white has to be in place first. Is this the right orange? Like, that's pretty good. I think that's right. Well, welcome, Snarky Dog. I don't do them enough is why I haven't been able to catch them. So this will be our mid-tone. I'll use a bigger brush. Is there a little bit of blue on this? So blue and orange are good complements, so this should look good. If I can get this done in time, I want to do this for tomorrow's video. Technically, there's not supposed to be a video this, week, but I didn't have a video last week, so maybe I can do 2 videos in 2 weeks. We will see. Painting is fun. If you take out all the pretense and all the, like, oh, well, you have to have an education, I'm not so sure about that anymore. Like, I mean, I learned stuff from a Warhammer tutorial painting thing. Like, the internet's got so many good resources nowadays. But, in the same breath, for me personally, I needed to, I think I need more yellow. Yeah, it's too red. That's okay, though. We can throw a little bit on there. I'll throw this in, and then I'll add some yellow later. For me personally, though, I felt like I needed to have a degree. It was some weird psychological thing I was going through. So whether or not that was actually worth it, I don't know. I became a painter because of it, so I guess you wouldn't be watching this right now, so... Something turned out. Otherwise, it'd just be doing pen and ink, which is probably better because it transfers over to oil, or I mean, digital stuff easier. Like, there are painting programs that mimic painting, but they don't do a great job of it, just because the fluidity and the messiness of paint is something that's hard to emulate and something as exact as a computer program. Even when it's trying to be messy, it ends up looking kind of precise. For instance, like the spray can tool always looks a little bit too exact, you know? It's like it repeats, you see the repetition. So, I think looking at people who are doing art right is a good way to learn how to do art. Like, you need to... Emulating and learning from people, like master practice, where you just copy stroke for stroke an entire painting from someone else. It's one of the best things you can do. And I know there are, like, people who do painting, like, brushes for computer, but I've never found them to be, like, the same thing. There's this book that I read growing up. It was about the flowers that bloom in Texas during the summer, or spring, I should say. And I forget what it was called. I think it was called the Indian paintbrush. And it's because there's a flower here in Texas called the Indian paintbrush. And it's sort of this color. I don't remember exactly what the story was about. I think it was a girl, a Native American girl, that had a paintbrush that was magic for some reason. And it was just like, you know, I don't know. Texas, most of the year, is just burnt and brown and kind of gross. The one thing that's super nice, and I kind of showed off in crosses, I would say that's what summer in Texas looks like, is crosses. That painting I did. Just bleached sun, grounds, and floating crosses. I mean, just completely clear skies, and just you can see for miles. So there's that. But during the spring, which is what I'm getting on about, it turns sort of navy blue and this color orange and green. It's just like all the primary colors just everywhere. And it's super cool. Markers are pretty good. I've never had a lot of luck with them because you do have to use like the color kind of out of the tube, more or less. And I'm kind of not a fan of that. But there are ways of mixing. I don't know, I just never really got into it. Like, this song doesn't go anywhere, does it? I shouldn't bash myself. My boss was giving me grief about that the other day. He was like, you know, I did something, right? I got like a fairly large sale. And he's like, man, I saw that sale. You got like, you know, $200 worth of stuff out of that guy. And I'm like, yeah, but he kind of came in wanting exactly that stuff. He's like, dude, you have no self-confidence. You talk down about yourself. And I'm like, I have self-confidence. I don't know where I'm going with that story. I just, I thought it was a weird comment and I can't get it out of my head. It's like, sometimes just stuff happens and I'm not responsible for it. Like, that guy wanted to buy $200 worth of stuff. So I don't really feel like I influenced him. I just facilitated that. It is like the super hot orange, isn't it? Maybe what I'm saying is sometimes chance takes a lot into effect on how things go. And I can't take credit for it. I mean, I guess that's what people do. Like millionaires and billionaires and all that. They take credit for random chance working out for them. So why not? It just seems disingenuous. If this is your first time to one of these streams, then you'll find that I'm talking garbage for about 2 hours, then the camera runs out of battery, and then we stop. Speaking of, we may not finish this painting today. And if we don't, I apologize, but, you know, I only have one battery and it's got to charge, and I only have one memory card and it's got to empty. And as soon as it runs out of film, then we're about halfway to the battery running out. So it works out. I mean, I could keep painting and just use that as the recording, what you guys are watching, because this will be posted. But it's like 720p as opposed to 1080. And it's like, I don't know. The one thing that you expect from an art channel is that you know, you can see the thing. I'd like for that camera to be better, but, you know, it's not, so it's not. They don't really make 1080p cameras, as far as I know, that are stream worthy. I know there is a way to hook up a DSLR like I've got to a computer, but I don't really know how to do that. Like, I think it's like there's some sort of Elgato capture card thing. I knew I looked into it at one point. It was expensive, so I didn't do it. But that might be an upgrade I do, because then I can just do ArtCade streams till I feel like stopping, which is cool. But that'll be down the pipeline quite a while from now. So the light from this subject is going to be coming down from like straight above, because the image I'm using as a reference is a mannequin, and of course they light it up like ugh. I hate when I cough and hiccup at the same time. It's gross. So we gotta wait for that to dry for the most part, because most of what we're doing is up here, like on the face. But I do want to like try and clean up like the edges, and this is like the base coat, so it's not going to look perfect. And I'd like for this background to be more interesting. And in order to make it more interesting, I want to quite possibly add like clouds, not necessarily clouds, but use like a cloudy texture by dry brushing onto it. And now we're getting into the Kevin MacLeod stuff, by the way, as far as the music. I've only written one song for this channel. I use that very generally. A lot of the stuff that Kevin MacLeod does is barely music as well. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's better than what I do, but he's also a professional musician, so you know. The only songs that I've ever written were like punk and metal songs, and they don't really fit this vibe. Like, I feel like what people are going for is just to chill here. And so, and I don't know. If you ever listened to like stock metal or stock punk music that they use in like, I don't know, commercials and stuff, it's like so formulaic. It's so like, it's just gross sounding. It's awful. Medi says there's no wrong music. I disagree on the point that like stock metal or just like what does Vinny call it when it's just like, was it butt rock? Sort of like that, but with metal. It's super bad. And I guess if you're like not into metal, if you're not into like punk or whatever, then it's whatever, but I need to make more blue. So this blue is like actually sort of a black. I'm using cobalt blue and burnt umber, and that makes a much more interesting background than just a straight black. Now if I was using what was I talking about? If I was using one of those hardwood panels, then I could use that here, and using the background is entirely black works out good. Do you mean Metallica? The newest album definitely feels like that, but it's not quite as bad. It's still got some artistic integrity. I know people like to crap on it, and for every reason they should. It's It's not very good, but All Night, was it? Not All Night Very Long, it's the other one. What is the name of that song? Man Unkind. For most of it, it feels pretty good. It's very generic. And if it was like some band's first like album, I'd be like, man, these guys are going somewhere. And I think I've said that before on stream. That like if it was Metallica's first album, then it would be great. People would be losing their minds that someone that good was making music. But it's like Metallica's like 10,000th album or whatever, and it's just like so bored constructed. It's just, I don't know. They can do better than that. They're just older now. And it kind of made me realize there's a lot of bands that I don't want to hear them do new stuff. Like, I do, but if they actually made new stuff, then it would be awful. They only made like 8 albums. Yeah. I guess so. Guar's new album is great. I love it. You know, Otis died, and after which they made a really killer album. The new one is amazing, and I highly recommend it. I'll Be Your Monster and El Presidente, which is like one of the only songs that it's illegal to like sing. Well, you can sing it, but you probably can't just say the words. Like, I couldn't quote the song right now. The first lyric being the main issue. Go listen to it and you'll see what I mean. There's very few things that you can say in this world that are illegal, but El Presidente's beginning is one of them. But they're singing it and it's Guar, so, you know, it's okay. Just gonna try and trim off the fuzzles here and try and get it so that way we don't have fuzzy edges, because that doesn't look good. Yeah, the horns are a little weird, but it's good. Someone just responded with, ha ha ha, wow, in chat. I take it you just listened to it. Okay, second coat of the blue is looking better than the first coat. Just needed a little bit extra paint. Now it's starting to work better. I've had this tickle in my throat all day. Thought I was losing my voice for a bit today. I was, of course, playing Warhammer and not streaming. But I kind of needed to because I wanted to test it out. One thing I really enjoy doing is, you know, me and Tilda will sit down and chill, and she'll be working on something. And sometimes I like to sketch, but a lot of the time I don't. And so when I'm not sketching, I like to have something that I'm working on, something I'm doing with my hands. And so loading up something like Battlescribe is useful because it's a way for me to like mess around with Warhammer stuff while, you know, hanging out with Tilda and just like be doing something. Like, I have to be doing something. It's the whole ADD thing. That is a good song, Betty. I like that one and Metal Land and Gorgor, excuse me, and what's the other one? I Hate Love Songs is another good one. Just an amazing band. But yeah. Did I ever try to learn to crochet or knit like Tilda? No. No, I don't have the patience for that. She crochets. She's learned how to knit recently. And she seems to hate it, so there's that. It's not really like, I don't really, I think it's just because I live in Texas and it's not cold here. Like, it's always really hot. Sure, grew up where it was like cold sometimes. Like, it never freezes here. Like, almost never. At least not in Central Texas. If you live out in like West Texas where there's nothing and nobody, then yeah, it freezes because there's no way for it to keep the temperature. So it'll go up to 120 in the summer and down below freezing regularly every winter. And it's just, God has forsaken that land. Like, it's awful there. It's the absolute worst of everything. My workspace is a little bit chaotic. I should clean it up more, but it's just sort of like, it's my combination streaming area / eating area sometimes / painting area / everything area, and it's nice and convenient. You can just sit down and work on anything from here. I could edit a video while I was waiting for paint to dry. I can play a game of CSGO or something while I wait for the paint to dry, I guess, again. There's a few games that I play where just I gotta wait. Like, if I go down early in a game or a round to CSGO, then I got nothing to do for a minute. You know? I can paint. West Texas, the town has amazing kolaches. Yes. Ugh. But that's really the only reason I'd travel that far west. No offense to anyone who lives in El Paso, but you probably know how, like, awful that place is. Just, that's the only town in West Texas that I know of, aside from West Texas. But it's not even really that far west. It's almost like, almost central. I don't know. I've actually never driven there myself. I've always been in the passenger seat. El Paso is its own thing, sure. This guy / gal is ketchup. We're gonna make them not ketchup in a second. Once they dry. Which I don't know why I used all my fingers to touch it, because it is wet still. And now my fingers are too. So I gotta wait for the paint to dry, which is unfortunate, but once all the paint dries, then we can either do the person or we can do the background, and then things will be better. But do you guys have anything you want to show me? I guess it's wow, it's so much more red on the camera. Holy crap. Let me see if I can fix the camera for you guys. You guys got a little off center. There you go. That's a little bit better. And it's just drifting ever so slightly to the side there. That's cool. Anyway, I guess we're literally watching paint dry here for a minute. And unfortunately, I can't really get up from where I'm seated, so I can't go get more water, which I kind of need to. But yeah, I'll try and stream tomorrow and do a little bit of Hunter Call of the Wild. I know that's like a weird thing for me to do, but it's a way for me to get some more ArtCade stuff going. And I want to do more of it because people are supporting me on Patreon, and I think I already said this, didn't I? Oh well. What headphones am I rocking? They're Audio-Technica... Oh, I'd have to check. A40, I want to say. Oh, Audio-Technica M30X, I guess. They're nice. I've had them for a while. I bought Tilda a pair a little bit while back. You want to check out some semi-obscure music genres? I can't really listen to them right now because they're probably copyrighted. But what do you got in mind? Actually, I guess I could get up and move the camera. Although I don't know what you guys would see. I'll just kind of throw you around the room a bit. Maybe we just put you on the BRB for a second while I go get myself some water. I'll be right back. Ignore the Patreon thing. We're not doing that right now. I mean, I still have the Patreon, but just like donate your money to the charity. It's PCRF. We're doing it from the 20th to the 22nd of July. So if you're watching this relatively soon after it comes out, or if you're watching this live, you'll see it then. It's coming. Save your money. Give $5 to them instead, because $5 from me, because I'm going to donate that Patreon money. But it goes through a filter, you know? The charity's going to be super good. Hootie and everyone who's been working on it actually has done an amazing job from what I've seen and from what I've heard. I'll be right back. I'm going to get some water. I don't mind tablets and stuff like that. I just, I don't know. I like paint more. We might do a stream sometime where I'm doing digital drawings. But it's more, I don't know. I go through waves of liking it. Okay, I am back. What was I gonna say? Oh, I guess I can show you something real quick. Give me one sec. I'm gonna get that. I got something to show you. So the other reason that there isn't a, good night, man. Hope you have a good sleep, or whatever you're about to go do. Good one of those. Alright, so I can turn you guys back on again. I can show you this as well. Camera. Cool, there we go. So, there was supposed to be a video earlier this week, but I just can't paint for crap this week. Like, that doesn't look right. That's too big. Like, this bottom part? I was gonna do something in the PCRF colors, so that way I could be like, hey, the charity's coming up, do the, you know, look at this, you know, go and do the thing, you know? Go donate some money to the charity. And then I just couldn't paint this week. I don't know. Can't paint for crap. And then I did this one, and it's just like, oh wow. That green is a lot different on here than what you guys see. I've jacked around with the contrast a bit so I should probably fix that, actually. Because you guys are seeing something totally different. Configure, ooh, that's not it. Actually, maybe it is configure. Alright. Looks nice. I'm not a fan of them, man. I'm really not a fan of either of them. The lines are super wonky. We get the colors right. Because you guys are getting some weird colors. What even? Are you guys seeing that in real time? Because that looks trippy as heck on my screen. Because that's like green. That's not teal. I don't know why it's coming up as teal. But that is what I think of when I think green. And it's showing up as a completely different color for you guys. Oof. Restore to defaults. Yeah, it's not. I don't know what's up with that. Is it like the distance? What is going on? That's super weird. Anyway, the camera's not quite showing the right colors, and I'm not really sure why. So I'm just gonna get it back to wherever it was. I guess I could take a picture and show you guys on Twitter. But anyway, the colors aren't right, which is disturbing because the colors aren't right for that either. And I don't know how to fix it. Do you have your own monitor calibrated? I mean, like... The red figure became very intensely red. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Let me try and fix it. We were waiting for the paint to dry anyway, so I might as well mess around with settings, right? Image quality, right light? No. Auto exposure? No. Turn all of this auto stuff off. White balance. Ooh. Okay, that wall back there is white, like the molding, and then the wall itself is cream. So like it's close, it's just not quite right. And then I'm pale. So like maybe like here. I changed it for like streaming mode because having it like super like high contrast is better for streaming. Because, you know, it just is. That's how things work. People, rather than see reality, they would like to see you look like a commercial. And it shows less errors. That's closer. I mean, this is cobalt blue. Do we have anything that you guys know the color of? Like, that's relatively right. Looks about right. And this may just be the lighting in here is weird. There's something you know what it looks like. I can't adjust the colors themselves. Anyway. Yes. Okay. So that should be a little bit better. Let's see if that changed what this looks like. That's still like teal. I don't know why. I'll take a picture of it and show you, but it doesn't look right to me. And the lines are really sloppy, and maybe I can still fix it. I don't know. We'll see. But are you still wet? Yes. And this is definitely still wet. So, huh. I was hoping that would take longer. Kind of save us some time. The problem with using a small canvas is that it, you know, does mean that we have to wait. Anyway, what have you guys been working on art-wise? Have you guys, did any of y'all enter the art thing for PCRF, the charity? We're giving away a SNES, by the way. It's unrelated to the art contest. Vinesauce on Twitter. Go look it up. Go find that tweet and enter yourself in for a SNES. Can we play some chill jams that they're royalty free? I would have to go and dig through and make sure that they are first, because some people don't really know. People are doing art fight and they don't really know what that means. Like, I don't know what art fight is. I've only heard of it this year. That makes sense, Bun. I have that problem sometimes too. You sent in some digital art for the contest. I want this to be dry. Like now. But it's still not. Are you dry? Down here? No, it's still wet. We don't really have anything else to work on, which is the other problem. That dude's green. Like in the background there of Eric Peterson is teal. I still don't have anything King Diamond on this wall. I need to fix that. Because that dude's good. And Guar would be good as well. I have Ghost, and I don't even really listen to Ghost anymore. Not since their new one. Their new album was bad. Well, I only listened to Rats. But Rats made me go, nah, nope, I'm done. You might as well enter, Skark. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Doggy. that happens as well. Just paint his corpse paint on the wall. Well, we're renting this apartment, so I don't think they'd appreciate that. I'm so impatient. This is why I don't use oil. Because oil, it would definitely not be dry by now. And we'd still be waiting until like tomorrow or the next day. And it'd just be awful. I guess I could mix the paint that I'm going to use. So what do I need? I need like a teal? What do I need here? It's like I'm going to use a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to probably do that last. Okay. So I need to figure out what the shadows are. And the shadows are going to be really dramatic and really dark, but they're going to be a different color than this. So they need to be similar to this, but somewhere between this and orange. I'm going to see what that literally mixes to, because I can't figure it out. And that makes brown. Is that going to be okay? We'll see. I'm impatient, and I'm just going to start painting. So I'm going to mix up some more paint, and then I'm going to just paint. And if it's wet still, then we're just going to roll with it. I don't know, whatever. So mix up a little bit of more black or blue or whatever that color is there. This blue's starting to get chunky. We need to use it all before it goes bad. I've been using this huge tube for so long, and I bought more blue because I was just like, oh, I need more paint, you know? I always need more paint. And then I bought more paint, and then I got home and I realized I had like 3 tubes of blue. Because I kept doing that. And it turned out I didn't need more paint. It is a pain to do the social media thing. I don't dislike it, I just don't like Instagram. Like, my brother's all about it right now. Some guy he listens to that talks about, you know, business and, you know, social media and this, that, and the other, and he's recommending it. He's like, man, the next big step is going to be Alexa and Instagram. And it's like, okay, well, I can't do anything with Alexa. It's like, yeah, but you should totally use Instagram. You know what? I love my brother. My brother's cool. So I tried it. Haven't had any results. I feel like I need to put more work into it than I do. And I just don't really feel like the community that I'm involved with is there. I don't really feel like a lot of gamers use Instagram. Maybe I'm wrong. But alright, let's try using this muddy orangish color and try and use it for my thing. We're gonna sculpt in all the... Oh, hold on. We're going to sculpt in the major features, and I'm going to get you guys a camera angle that isn't... Okay. Just draw the lines on where these are. I'll have to be darker right through here, I guess. See, I didn't really bother to do the shoulders in my sample sketch, so I really don't know how it looks past like the clavicle, really. I hadn't really even figured it out, so we'll see. We may end up switching this around a few times, but so it's still a little bit wet, and so it's kind of resisting me adding new paint to it because it's just like not a fan, and it's like, look, I don't care, I'm in a rush and want to do paint. You are not the first person to say that it looks like something from Super Hot. And I kind of see it, so yeah. Maybe we make this a little bit darker. It needs to be noticeably different than there, but also noticeably different than the colors we're about to put on the face. So I need to like have like a delineation, but I need to get this camera set up as well. It kind of bugs me that it's like so far off what the actual colors are. You guys will see when I eventually finish this painting and don't screw it up and actually post it. Yeah, I think brown is right, because when I was doing this guy, one of the tricks that I learned was that you put in like a dark brown, and then you just dry it, or you use like a real dark liquid. You just drip it in there, and so then it just sort of seeps into all the cracks, and it looks like he's got shadows in his armor. It looks more real. So I think that's what I need to do here as well. I mean, I can't do that exactly because that strategy works because the models are like well made and they're well detailed and there's cracks and it's a three-dimensional object. I hate sculpture, to be honest, and so it's kind of weird that I like painting those guys, but I need to probably just save up and buy one of those eBay armies. I think that's the trick with that. Is buying it whole cloth? Nah. Buying it from GW, you gotta be loaded. And I'm not, so I'm not. Plus I'm saving up money to donate to a charity. Can't really be doing that right now. Favorite unit right now, I'd say it's Khorne Berserkers. Hence the Exalted Champion that I've been showing you guys. Best combo in 8th right now. If you want to hear my 2 cents. Exalted Champion, Dark Apostle, Khorne. And then just let him go wild. 97% hit rate. Just wreck everything in the way. You know you're a nerd when you talk about 97%. It's like 97.5%. What if we have Vaporwave in here? A lot of... It's not Vaporwave, but when I started writing music for this channel, I was listening to a lot of Joji. And so... It's not really Vaporwave, but I feel like it's a distant cousin of Vaporwave in a way. I like that guy. I didn't like him as Filthy Frank, but I like him now as Joji. Like, I think it's impressive that he was able to make that switch and that people accepted him for it. You know, not everyone, of course, but like he was able to pull that off, and now he does that. Well, thank you. Thank you, Evil Luigi. We can get this a little bit less patchy. It should look better. Again, the paint is still so very wet that it just doesn't want to go on, but we're going to make this work. Okay, so now... I mean, Vaporwave is ripped off from this, that, and the other, but, like, even still, like, there are people who own the songs, and it doesn't matter how much of, like, a rip-off of something else it is. They think they own it, so that's what matters, man. Like, in the world of YouTube, that's what matters. If they believe they own something, then they do. And if you want to argue with me, try and upload Beethoven's Fifth and see how many SoundCloud rappers will copyright claim you on YouTube. The nice thing about this one is she didn't have lips. I hate drawing lips. That's convenient for me. Your red you have is a very Silent Hill aesthetic. That's good. I like that aesthetic. I need to delineate where this line is a little bit better. The paint's just coming up like nobody's business. Yeah, this is having a little bit of trouble because of how wet it is, and I'm impatient, and that's causing me problems. If I wasn't so impatient, we'd be fine. Let's see. We'll clean up some of this, make it look a little bit better later. I think that needs to be a little bit higher. Maybe up here a bit more. Do I play any instruments? I do. I play guitar. I used to play violin, but I'm not any good anymore. Never was great, but yeah. I've been in a couple of bands. I want to do that again, but also I don't practice ever, so I guess I don't want to do it that much. But it's also like, you know, how much time do I have in my day, and how do I want to spend it? In a lot of ways, how you spend your time is kind of like what you actually want from life, I believe. So if you want to like sit on your couch all day and do nothing, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's what you want from life, and that's what life will give you. And I don't play guitar enough. I think that's too far up the head. You need to like fix this and give him a little bit more, I guess it's a her because she was wearing a dress, but you know what, it's a mannequin. I don't generally check down the pants of mannequins, but I don't think they got anything going on down there, and I don't think that's how it works anyway. So I think it's a mannequin. I mean, it plays the same way, rock guitar, and I've got a Explorer and a Les Paul and Martin Backpacker. And those are basically my guitars right now. I want to get an acoustic, like a big dreadnought sort of acoustic, but you know, again, I should probably play the ones that I got a little bit more before I'm like, I should buy another guitar. Not coming out as good as my test drawing or a preparatory sketch. That's okay, we'll fix it. We're gonna have to let stuff dry though. Like for realsies this time. It's in the right district, like I'm getting closer. But his nose needs to move over a bit more. So I'm gonna move it right now while I'm thinking of it. So that way when I'm like here in like 10 minutes or 20 minutes from now, I'm not like, why is this look wrong? Just move his nose over just a tiny bit. So that way it's like 3/4 and then like straight on. Well, thank you, Raging. I wish you guys could see the actual colors that I'm doing here, because it's a lot more dynamic than that. I'm gonna mess with that for a sec. I bought my... Let's have a little bit more contrast. It's closer. That's pretty close. We're probably going to keep it fairly abstract. I'm slowly working more and more abstract, I've found, with my work. It's just sort of like the logical conclusion of what I've discovered that like I feel like art is, and so it just sort of ends up being more and more abstract. Alright, and then dim it down a little bit. That is the bone color. A little bit more orange. The colors look super jacked on y'all's screen. God. It's not like I can actually get it to the right colors. That's closer. I'm gonna go with that. It looks so washed out and green on the capture. Like so much more green than it actually is. There's like no contrast whatsoever. So now we need to get the other side of the nose, so it'd be like that into a... It's a little bit too dark. We'll fix it in a sec. I think I need to use a smaller brush now. Okay. So maybe get some of this orange back to normal. But a lot of the stuff that I've found that I've been liking on my like reference blog, it has like really sharp color delineations like this, and it gets much more abstract and gets less like Edward Hopper. Like you see a lot of his stuff and it's just so much more it's almost abstract at times, some of the stuff he's doing. And so, or did, I guess I should say, because he's very much not with us anymore, if I recall correctly. Oh, and there needs to be some... That needs to go lighter there. It's okay. I think we can fix that in a minute. Oh, as if we can fix it right now. No, it doesn't look like we can. We're gonna have to wait for this to get a little bit drier for us to do it. And yet, here I am, still messing with it. trying to change it. That I can fix. That's not color. Let's get all of the color down, even if it's not perfect, and we can worry about the rest of it later. Everyone wishes they could paint just straight from the head, but unfortunately you have to learn how to paint for like 10 years to get to the point where you can just do that. At least. Maybe more. I don't know. I'll let you know when I figure it out. It's a skill set in of itself. I think the water sounds really make this song work a lot better than it should. I think there's got to be some sort of media like that for you, Aiden. I would go crazy if I couldn't do some sort of art. Like, if I couldn't do something. I don't even know how people deal with that. Like, how do you not create? Just, it's a completely foreign concept to me. That's wrong. To be much, much lighter. We can add some light and stuff later and maybe lighten it up a bit. And that might be the trick over here to fixing this area. Yeah, he's got a bit of a smirk going on right now. We're getting there. And I want to add... I mean, maybe I should just add yellow to bits of this. We'll see. Now, is this wet down here? I mean, what was I expecting? In what universe is that not wet? Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna make this blue more interesting because I find it really boring. Like, it's too flat, it's too matte, and without a little bit of definition, a little bit of changes, and a little bit of weirdness to it, it's gonna be really boring and weird. So, I'm going to try a couple of things, and I doubt that I'll get it right on the first try. That's okay. Okay. Let's try doing, like, cloud sort of things. But I don't want to do clouds, so, like... I'm going to shape it like a cloud. Like, when I show you guys how to do ArtCade clouds. Like, how I end up doing those. Where it's just like dry brushing. My hope is that this is more interesting, but I don't think you guys can actually see that. A little bit. I've been enjoying the rain a lot recently as well. Just listening to the rain is nice. I don't think the red is right. I don't think using this color again is right. Maybe white? It's like normally when I do clouds, they go like, you know... just dry it off a bit more and just... But I don't think this should be like actual clouds, like... I I think that's like too dramatic. Like you can see that. So maybe it is purple. Or maybe it's like green. Might be green. Yeah, it's not that color. That color needs to go away. I don't like it. We're gonna have a few mistakes in here until I get this right, like I was saying. What if I make like a green using that blue, and I go like up, 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 up. It's like an olivey sort of green. I don't know if that's right. I need to do something with it. Like, you guys can't really see the colors right, so I don't know if you guys can actually help with this. Good night, Alondra. What about like a cool gray? Like no, that's too white. It's gonna be darker than that. What if I, instead of trying to do it where it was all brushy and stuff, what if I made it more angled as well? It needs to be darker than that, but like, what if it was like as sharp as him? That might work. That looks beige to you? That should be like a cool gray. Like, that looks right over there, but over here it's a different color. I don't know what's up with that. It's the same paint in both spots. What if I, like, make this blend in a bit? There are a couple things that I just didn't figure out before I started this painting. So it's going to be a little bit of a trouble. It's going to take a little bit of troubleshooting for us to figure out. A lot of paintings end up like this for me. The bits that I know go really smoothly, and then the bits that I don't sketch out, the bits that I don't check in advance, I don't really know how it goes, and so we kind of just like have to stumble through it a bit. I'm thinking that the light comes down here, so we just sort of, we paint in the light, unnaturally so. Make it real poppy and real, like, extreme, and it should be good. Alright, so what if I go... Reminds me of this dream I had a little while back, where I, like, ended up finding a cult in like small town nowhere, and it wasn't like a creepy like racist cult, but it was like a cool like let's have a good time kind of cult. It was great, but then they ended up being weird, so I guess it was like a creepy kind of weird cult. I don't know. I mean, I guess all cults are like that, right? It's just what makes them cults rather than organized religion. I don't know. I'm just sort of saying words. It's unfortunate that, like, you know, stuff like that's got to get, like, a little bit of, like, just a dash of racism that, you know, it's sort of like adding a dash of cinnamon to, I don't know, something that doesn't need cinnamon in it, ever. Gushers. It's like the weirdest analogy that I've ever come up with for racism. Well, there you go. You know, you have something nice, and then you just get a little bit of something awful in it. It doesn't matter really how much it is. It's just, it gets bad. It's just like, can't it just be something different? Can't it just be something nice? Why has it gotta be like, oh, also let's be evil? I just want a non-racist cult to join. Is that too much to ask? One that doesn't have to do with, like, I don't know, drugs or whatever. Cinemayo. Yeah, there you go. That's an awful combination. I hate you for coming up with it. I guess I kind of, like, started you on that path, so can't really blame you too much for it. And the colors look more right on the DSLR, and I can fix them in post. I'm not gonna fix them for the live stream just because I don't even know how. Just puns and jokes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fix up his eyes a bit. They're too high up. That's okay. That's fixable. These are all fixable problems. And like, I'm not sure about this lighting. The neck's a little weird. Yeah, his neck needs to be... like... You gotta make plain sounds. If you want to know how to paint good, you gotta make plain sounds. That's the trick. You can just throw in like a plain sound here and there just to make sure you're doing it right. Because if you're not making plain sounds, then how do you know you're getting a good, like, brush stroke going? Pro tip. Plain sounds. That's where it's at. Think Picasso didn't use plain sounds? He used plain sounds. Pro tip. What sounds did they make before planes were invented? I think I've talked about this on stream once before, but I heard that, and I think this is fake, but it's interesting. It's interesting, fake, and not real information, so I'm going to spread it as if it's real. They're saying that, like, the divots in the paint could be played like a record on, like, Da Vinci and stuff. Da Vinci paintings, and then they did that to like figure out what he was talking about or what he was doing when he was painting. So apparently he would just say the names of colors when he was painting. I'm fairly certain that that's not real because I don't really know who the madman who was like, hey, I got a record player, let's see what Da Vinci sounds like, give me like the Mona Lisa. Like, something tells me that wouldn't work. Plus, now that I know art restoration is the way it is, like, it's definitely not that. But it's a funny story all the same. That just Da Vinci was in his little, like, villa, wherever, I guess Vinci. And, going blur, blur. Oh, camera turned off. Why is that? problem is the cable for this thing's super short. I feel like this is getting better. And it's like getting a little bit more right. I feel like this needs to be chopped down a bit. So, I'm gonna do that. It's unfortunate, because I kind of like that side of his face. So I need to just straight up glue on my brush there. Right? Yeah. Plane sounds. Remember? That's what I was saying. Gotta get those plane sounds going. Else how will anyone know that you paint? I'll be like, you're not a real painter, you don't make plane sounds. And then you'll be called out as a fraud in front of everyone. Get kicked out of the exhibit because you didn't make plane sounds. I'm telling you, better start now. This is actually legitimate and not totally fake, made up on the spot in order to fill dead air advice that I'm giving you. With my mouth, which this guy doesn't have one. What was even that line of talk? Who knows? Who knows? That looks better. What sounds does one make while sculpting? I don't know, I've never sculpted, really. The only times I ever have, I hated it. So, I clearly did not make whatever sound one needs to make while sculpting. To sculpt correctly. I feel like this is better. Like, his head's a little bit more on track with the way I sketched him out. I guess I can show you that. You can see how I'm doing things wrong. So. Wow. Can you guys actually see that? That's what I sketched out. It's so much better than that. It's along the right lines, though. I like the colors. I like the colors a lot. But that's the reference photo that I've been looking at this whole time. You actually like the painting better. Well, there you go. I think it's better with color. Being black and white kind of limited it some. But I like the values that are in there. I just have to put some paint on the table. Luckily, there's a table that we got out of the dumpster. Pretty sure we got these out of the dumpster. Normally I'm really against haloing, where you just have a halo around guys, but it might look better in this. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna mess around with it until it works. Yeah, a lot of artist anatomy books are pretty good, but the thing that they don't do that normal, like, doctor anatomy books do is they don't bother to tell you, like, what that stuff does or why it's there or any of that stuff. It's just sort of like, yeah, it looks like this. And for the most part, you don't need to know internal organs when it comes to, like, being an artist, unless if you do some, like, grindcore stuff, in which case you do, or, like, gore grind or any sort of metal stuff. If you do a lot of metal, then you gotta know, like, the inner working of the human body, because a lot of the inner workings of the human body need to go on the outside if you're doing that kind of art. Being anatomically correct when it comes to that stuff, I don't know if it bugs me too much. How do you paint metal? Please tell me. Look at my Rev Metal shirt that I made. That's a good example of how you paint metal. I kind of like what's going on as far as this stuff on the outside. It's a little bit more interesting. I need to get a little bit closer in a couple spots, like right here. That's way too light. Somehow fix it. I was listening to some interviews with there's a channel called Loudwire on YouTube, and they do interviews with, like, musicians, mostly metal, some rock, and they don't really, like, go, oh, well, you know, you're new metal or whatever, so we don't do a thing with you, which is good and bad. They did, like, an interview with the lead singer from Disturbed, and that guy had a messed up life. That dude had a really messed up life. Like, that interview, I don't know. He seems like an alright dude, all things considered. I mean, apparently there was some interview where he was a total jerk back in the day, but now he seems like an okay guy. I don't know. I don't know him, obviously. Probably will never know him. I liked Disturbed back in the day. He had a couple albums in, and you're just like, oh, okay. Plus, you know, I was a kid, and I didn't really have taste. But, you know, for what they were alright. That unfortunate album that the music video was like a building collapsing, and it came out on 9/11, and it's just like, oof. Because you know they didn't do that intentionally. They filmed it like months in advance, and they're like, alright, this is our release date, and then 9/11 rolls around, and it's just like, ooh. Why are the guy's nipples pink? He doesn't have any? Oh, why are nipples pink? Just in general. That wasn't about my guys in this drawing, but like just in general, like, why are nipples pink? You know, I don't know. Just flesh is like that, I guess. Also, you know what the other cool thing about doing Warhammer stuff? I bought some Warhammer brushes, some Citadel ones. And they're super nice. They're actually good brushes. I'm thinking I'm gonna invest in better brushes more often, because it's nice and nice. It's nice and nice. It's good descriptor words, Colin. Alright. So. But it's meant for like really tiny stuff. I found that you can like cover stuff like this with a shader brush super well. Yeah, a little bit of yellow maybe. Yellow may not be right. It does lighten it up quite a bit. I think I'm gonna have to do a couple coats with this, just because that color's so dark. Why did Megadeth release a video of a monkey? That is an awesome song. Public Enemy #1. Jailbreaking, I'm stole a gun, or whatever the lyric is. It's great. Just a ridiculous video. That's what I like from metal, you know? Like, it doesn't have to all be serious. It's nice when it is, you know, have like a little bit of commentary about politics, this, that, and the other. And occasionally it's just nice to be like, you know what, here's a monkey going on a killing spree. I don't know, whatever. Public Enemy #1. It's a great song. Thank you for reminding me of its existence. I sort of know how to play it. I sort of remember how to play Holy War. That's an awesome song, too. Never heard that voice before. That's like my Dave Mustaine impersonation. If you listen to Dave Mustaine, that's exactly what he sounds like, as far as I can tell. The acoustics of my head may be a little bit different and cause it to sound different. He doesn't really sing as much as he does that voice for like 3 to 5 minutes. I mean, just metal in general is so much harder to play than people give it credit for. They're just like, it's just some like noise. But like, if you listen to like what they're playing, it's like crazy, man. Crazy. I'm getting tired. So I'm just saying random words. We run out of battery? What happened here? Alright, the card is full. Okay. Alright, well, we gotta call it there for now. Yeah, the yellow looks really nice, and I wish I still had battery power so I could finish this. I wish I still had space on the card. Go ahead and pop it out, and we can be at that halfway mark. Give me a minute to move the stuff over to the computer. It pops a lot more on y'all's screen than it does mine. Public Enemy #1. Jailbreaking, I stole a gun. Or just like, what was it? Dread the Fugitive Mind. Let me introduce myself. I'm a social disease. Doesn't really work with like the calming, like nice time music going on in the background. There we go. Dread the Fugitive Mind isn't singing. You could definitely say that, and I'd have a hard time arguing with you. If it sounds like Snake, then I'm not doing it quite right. Leave you on your knees. No time for feeling sorry. I choose to walk alone. I never really got into She-Wolf. I didn't think that was as good of a song as Dread and the Fugitive Mind. It's like a 6-minute... Got here on my own. Yeah, I won't ask for mercy. It is almost my... I'll never betray my master. It's very similar, isn't it? I haven't listened to Megadeth in a while. I oughta. I haven't really gotten around to it. Oh crap. Should be able to sneak by. Totally sneaking by to make some lunch for tomorrow. Let me give you guys a quick BRB while we're waiting for this stuff to transfer. Talk to Tilda while we wait. You guys can listen to this nice jam. BRB. Alright, sorry for the intermission. I'm back. The stuff's still transferring over, so it'll be like 8 minutes. I don't really have anything that I can talk about that I wasn't already. I'm just glad that y'all are here. PCRF, I guess I could talk about that again. Though I think everyone that was here from the beginning is still here now. I'm still alive. Hey, Natalie. You've been working on the PCRF thing. Maybe you can tell them something that I haven't told them. I've just been telling them that it's happening. Like on the 20th to 22nd. I'm getting that right? Is that right? This next weekend coming up? Yeah. Uh-huh. Tilda says that's right. Yes. What's PCRF? The Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation. So it's like St. Jude's, except for they spend considerably less money on research. Or I mean, they spend considerably less money on advertising and more money on research. So dollar for dollar, if you donate to PCRF, you save more lives than you do if you donate to St. Jude's. Not to say that St. Jude's is a bad charity, but just, you know, PCRF is a really, really good one. We started doing it because I honestly just wanted to stream Motocross for 24 hours and have a good reason for it. I was like, I want to do a charity, guys. And so they're like, okay. So we did St. Jude's, or I did St. Jude's the first year. I did a 24-hour stream of Motocross 1 and 2. And then everyone else wanted to get in on it. And so the next year we ended up finding a different one. We talked about a bunch of different charities. We talked about, there's one about manatees and stuff like that. And manatees alright. I mean, I'm down with saving the manatees. That's a good thing for them to do, I guess. But you know, saving children's lives, just I don't know, it resonates a bit more. It's just better. Not into stream. I'm just waiting for the data to transfer over from the card to allow me to paint more. I can't paint more until I can actually record more. I guess I could talk about today's Chronog game, even though that's not really what this channel's for. I mean, I guess it's sort of video game related, in that it's ArtCade. It's called Epistory Typing Chronicles. What? Steam description, Epistory. It's got a 74 on Metacritic, which is not bad. It's $5 right now, rather than the normal 15. Cheaper than getting it on Steam right now, where it is 15. I think it's a like Typing of the Dead sort of game. I don't know. It's got a neat aesthetic. It looks like it does have the Typing of the Dead sort of thing, but it might be like an RPG. Like a action RPG, sort of like Zelda. I don't really know what's going on with that, but chrono.gg/RevScarecrow if you want to get it. Hey Luigi, how you doing? Just flip back to the chat and I can see you now. Hi. Also ignore the Patreon thing. It keeps coming up and I need to make sure that it's like turned off for the next like week. I need to find good slides for during the charity stream itself. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe I won't even do the BRB during the charity. We will see. We will see. I like everyone's trying to do like Twitch emotes in chat. Fortunately enough, like we will be, as long as I do maybe, I think I have to do one of these a week in order to hit my goal for this channel this year. I mean, I hit the other goal for this channel. The other goal for this channel was 400 subs, so I guess that worked out. The other channels look like they might be having some trouble this year, but you know, it's working out. I'm doing the other things that I decided I was going to do as part of my like New Year's resolution. So that's good. I kind of underestimated how popular this channel would be, I guess. So there's that. What have you guys been up to? What have you guys been doing art-wise? Rev 7 is a really hard emote to use, like, effectively. Really don't know. Maybe I should have on the BRB screen while it's rolling around like this on Twitch to actually have, like, this is what you type to do that. I don't know. I don't know. Been drawing monsters, you've been learning how to draw. I have no idea what that is, Medi. Yeah, honestly, Natalie, like, you've been working really hard on that. Does being a gremlin count as performance art? If you say it does, then yes, it does. Argued that when I was in school, because we had to do, like, X number of hours per semester in this one class of doing things to, you know, further our art career, right? We had to keep a log of it. So I started counting streaming towards it. It's like, yeah, that's what I want to be doing with myself as an artist. Which is sort of true. You know? Just happen to be doing this. That is way too many links. Should have like a hub page. Like Vinesauce, but like, you know, for all that. Might make things easier. Oh, I love Soma. The art style on that was really good. That was a good stream. I think it got flagged several times for like all sorts of issues, like shocking content or whatever. Hey, sweetheart, would you mind filling up my water? You're fine. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you jump. You're okay. Tilda's trying to be very quiet. And I spooked her. I'm sorry, honey. Thank you. Try to do more general stuff first, Medi, and then it starts going from there. Where's a good place to post art online? Everyone says Instagram, but I find that Tumblr actually works fairly well. And I think you ought to start by doing art based on like maybe a fandom, and then convert from there. Yeah, Tilda recommends to watermark, and I think that's right. And the reason you want to do that is that way you can you need to have a, like, any sort of following first, and then you can do what you want. People need to know who you are first, though. There's no reason for them to check you out specifically, unless if they know that you do good art, and they're not going to check out your art unless if it's something they already are interested in, you know? Like, if a community just doesn't get any love, doesn't get any respect, and then it sees new content, like, if you've ever been in a community or whatever of like an anime or a game that, like, you're super into but no one cares about anymore, and then someone draws some new art for it, like, I can almost guarantee you went and followed that person, right? I recommend that as a strategy. And obviously do it with something you actually care about, because, you know, people can tell if you're being scuzzy about stuff. But a lot of people do that with, like, Vinesauce stuff. Like, they'll use Vinesauce as a way to, like, get their name out there, and then they start doing commissions and stuff, and then it works out for them. I've seen a few artists do that, and it worked out. Obviously, it's self-serving for me to go, oh, do art for me. But, you know, you don't have to do it for me. And just people see your quality. People get into this mindset that they're a good artist, or they're a good streamer, or they're a good whatever they do. And then they don't get why no one watches them, no one sees their stuff. It's because, like, well, no one knows that you're good until they actually see it. They're not going to see it unless if it actually enters something that they care about. Okay, so I can actually start painting again. And the paint's dried, so that's cool. That helps. Okay, so you need to clean up a little bit of that. It's also just something to, like, do art to. Any of that kind of stuff is, like, it prevents art block. If you go, okay, today I'm doing some art based on this, it's like, I can pretty much guarantee that you're gonna do art that day rather than not, just because it's like, it doesn't really matter if you really want to do art for that day. It's just like, it's a prompt, it's something to do. Just checking to see if it's recording. I mean, and again, I say, don't, like, fake it. Like, actually be interested in whatever, you know? Provide some, like, sort of value to those people who are in that community. Don't just, like, do art of, like, I don't know, Sailor Moon if you have no actual interest in Sailor Moon. Because people will smell that. They'll know it from a mile away. And then you just look like a jerk, and then you've got that reputation. Some guy who just tries to pretend that he's into X, Y, and Z, and he's not. He's just trying to, you know, get commissions. And it's like, said with a sneer. It's like, But if you're actually legitimately interested in something, you might as well do art for it. Because there's a community for it, I almost guarantee it. If you like making, I don't know, toy trains out of Lincoln Logs, then I guarantee you there's someone on the internet who's into that. Like, just the internet's weird like that. Like, there's someone who likes anything. So just, I don't know. Procrastination's a lot of people's weaknesses. And, you know, that's why one of my goals this year for me was paint on canvas once a week. Doesn't have to be like I actually paint something, but I have to put paint on a canvas once a week. And the reason for that is that, like, if I have to get set up to do paint on canvas, then, like, I'm pretty much guaranteed to, like, actually paint, you know? And it's not like a quality thing. It doesn't say I have to paint one masterpiece a week. It's just like I need to paint every week. So, if you make goals for yourself for art, make it not quality about, but make it so it's like, I will do art this week, you know? I will complete X goal that is, like, not a quality-based thing. You know, maybe you make a comic or whatever, and people go, oh, well, I'm not very good at art yet. You know what? You can always go back and change those frames later. There are plenty of webcomics who do that, you know? I've got the alcoholism part. I mean, like, I feel like that's kind of... People like to romanticize people having, like, awful problems. Like, oh, they've got depression. And that's why they're such good artists. It's because they feel better. Like, they have more feels than other people. And it's like, that's dumb. You're dumb. Like, anytime that I've had to deal with, like, any sort of mental health stuff myself, I don't do art. I don't do stuff. And you know why? Because I'm depressed. Like, newsflash, it's really hard to do work when you're not feeling good. And if you do work, you end up doing really bad work. And you end up being really critical of yourself. And then you end up not achieving anything. So in the end, you just make bad stuff. So yeah, no. I'm not about that. I think that is one of the biggest lies, but it's a nice story, you know? It's a nice story to say, oh, well, you know what? Separated, you know, X artist from everyone else. Well, he did art because he was he's a really deep and complex individual. But lately, we've been allowing artists who are not deep and complex individuals to do art. I don't know, I feel like if you can lie that story well enough, you can get away with whatever. This song just doesn't go anywhere, does it? How's that looking? That's looking a little bit better on your screen than it actually looks on mine. I mean, it's not a screen, it's canvas, but whatever. I think we actually need to go to that black that we got in the background as what his eyes are. I think it looks better like that. How's that looking for y'all? It might be a little bit too dark. Might need to like back it down just a bit, just a little bit. Add a little bit of orange to it. Is that looking better? Or am I familiar with the works of Eric, and I don't know how to pronounce that last name. Nope. Is it relevant to this painting? Because I will totally go check out his stuff. There's a couple artists that I follow, like, there's these Tumblr blogs, and all they do is repost art, like, sounds bad. They get like famous artists and they act as if they're their blog, and they just repost the stuff that they did while they were alive, and it's super interesting because then you get to see it like all their work, not just like the Mona Lisa, but all the other weird stuff they did, you know. And it's super interesting because you get to see more of Edward Hopper than you would normally, and you get to see all these guys. And yeah, there are books for that, and yeah, I have books for that, but you know, just intermixed with like, I don't know, cute pictures of dogs, got like some Edward Hopper, and it's like, oh, that's neat. But there's some guy, and I don't remember what his name is, and he was somewhat of an inspiration for this one. He does a lot of stuff where he's got these really sharp angles on his work. I don't remember what his name is. It was someone recommended based on that I liked Edward Hopper. He does some somewhat creepy, grotesque aesthetic stuff right up your alley. That does sound like right up my alley. I'm painting what you're feeling. That's good. Sorry you're having a crappy... That didn't sound right. I'm sorry you're having a crappy day. I hope it goes better. That's better. Yep, that's what I do here. I think I'm going to mess around with this aesthetic more. I like it. This actually might be done in time. Well, thank you. It's very kind of you to say. This one's actually coming out a lot better than I expected. It's creepy and weird and kind of horrible. It's great. Yeah, art stuff is expensive, unfortunately. What is this painting of? Technically speaking, it's a mannequin in the mall that I'm modifying horribly. I just think they're neat because they're creepy. Alright, I need to add a little bit more red. I need to add some highlights and stuff, and then I think we're almost done. So let's add some orange, like, right here. Should probably add yellow to get that color to pop a bit more, because the yellow will actually, it'll mix down and then you won't see it anymore. But in the process, it'll just make that brighter, which is what we want, because this area does need to be brighter. Maybe a little bit darker, like right here. This part of the song reminds me of like Yumi Nikki. Well, thank you. Thank you, Teppy. It was very kind of you. I think we're gonna boost this a little bit here as well. In the same way. There's a little bit of blue left on my brush there, and that's gonna cause some problems. Just get some orange and paint over it, and you won't see it. There we go. Fixed it. You know, this painting kind of took the whole gambit. It's a thing that I always forget, that like there's like a middle step in every painting I do that just looks awful and I hate it. And then I want to stop and do some other painting. And the problem is that I keep forgetting that I do that, and then every single time I do one, it's just awful. Because I keep switching before it actually gets good again. And I need to remember that that's how I do paintings. That like there's an in-between step there that needs to happen, where it just looks awful for like an hour, and then it looks great again. I'm happy with it. That's fine. All the more reason to keep moving. Yeah. It's okay. I'll fix it. You're okay. I got this. It'll turn off, and when it turns off, it makes a really loud click. Thank you for letting me know, though. Yumi Nikki is a really good game. It's very solid. It's really like aesthetically pleasing in a lot of ways. It's weird, and I hate that what they did with Yumi Nikki too. So bad. It was disappointing. I thought about returning it. I decided against it because, you know, that stream technically did make money. Well, there you go, Medi. Same sort of thing that I was running into. That looks like crap for the first little bit, and then you actually, you know, keep with it, you stick with it, and it looks better. Good job, man. Alright, there's a little bit that I need to fix, like, right here. And then I think we're done. So. And this is pretty exact right here. Okay, that there. And then we got like a... Does that look right? No worries, Medi. I'm glad I can be. Doesn't look right quite yet, but... Is that a skull with a wig on top of it, on top of your... No, weirdly enough. It's just a skull, and there's like a fuzzy thing that Tilda made that looks like Chopper from One Piece. Because Chopper's cute. So that should, if I'm doing this right, look like the light's coming down from above and like the nose is creating a shadow. Well, I'm glad you did too, Ninja. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. It's like not a high key sort of stream. That's okay every now and then. I think I need to tone that down just a bit. Like, that's too bright. That's too vibrant. And it just needs to come down a bit. Yeah? Well, thank you, Morgan. And I think I need to do a similar sort of thing like here. Maybe? See, this is the problem, is I didn't experiment. I didn't paint that area. Yeah, like right here down needs to be like a brighter color. Like almost the color of the face. Like that? Yeah, that looks better. What do you guys think? I think that looks better. I ignore what you're saying and do it anyway. I might need to do it on the other side as well. So much more interesting, don't you think? I should do it on the other side as well. So the chin... going to be blocking off that much light, right? Yeah. Then we do it. Let me start subtle, and I'll go more brazen, depending on how it looks. Can always backtrack if it looks bad. But I think it goes like this. Yeah, that's really creepy and nice. I like it. It's really poppy now. It's getting there. Yeah, just needed that highlight there. That made it work. Am I gonna do the larynx? Is that gonna pop there? Like, can you see that from here? Like, wouldn't that be in shadow? I'm a little bit concerned about the collarbones. That would probably show up as a shadow, right? Would I ever do cyberpunk art? I might start doing commissions. After the charity stream's over, I'll think about it. But like 100% of my interest is like making sure that I don't take any money away from kids with cancer. Like that's where my mindset's at right now. I'm gonna brush in a little bit of a highlight there for the collarbones, but not like go full. So I don't think it's quite right, but I think there's a little bit of a light there that you'd be able to catch it. Right? It's like, where's my collarbone? It's like right here. So it'd be like right there. So it needs to be up the neck a little bit. So like right here. And just try it. You know what? Just gonna like dab it in there. We'll see how it goes. How does that look? Okay, but a little like phony, right? Does that look better? Not really. And I think it's because that light actually goes down up until that point. So that's better. I think I fixed it. Yeah, I don't think it's really leaning forward. I think he's just sort of standing there, or she's standing there straight upright. I think I need to bring in that a little bit. It might be good there. I think it might be done. What do you guys think? Nice thing is I didn't have to paint the lips. I hate painting lips. It's so awkward. And it looks better. It's a much more intense shadow without them. Looks good. I think I'll let it dry and then I'll sign it. Looks polished to you? Alright. Let me sweep around in front so that way I have something I can use for the thumbnail. Alright. Looks super weird on y'all's screen. Okay. There we go. And there it is. There we go. That's what we just ended up spending like 2 hours on. Sorry for like the weird like zoom around the room. I think that's right. This might need to be fixed up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. I'll see what it looks like once it's dry. Things change a little bit once they're, you know, not wet anymore. But yeah, alrighty. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the camera now. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for coming by. Let me put it on the BRB screen. Ooh, I need to clean the back. Ooh, ugh. That's gross. Need to clean the back of my little guard here. Alright, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys, everyone who's a sub on Patreon. Obviously, if you are, I'm gonna give you guys shout outs in the next video, but I'm not gonna try and talk about the Patreon too much aside from that, because that's what you guys paid for, to be in the credits. So anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys. I don't really have anything else to say aside from that. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you guys did a little bit of art and things went well for you as well. Fix the audio levels. And that's what I intend for it to be, Medi. Something, you know, chill and watch some people do art. But anyway, I'm gonna go. See you guys later. Bye.